So today we're going to talk about how to go from one-to-one to group programs and how to scale your coaching business. What I'm really interested about is how we can work with higher impact for your time and for your actual focus that you put into working with your groups and when you're working with them. So it doesn't become a big just launching. You're always stressed with more clients, you're always stressed with more one-to-one, and you're actually able to really scale with groups. Now, some of you have already group programs, and for you, I'll talk more about how I approach group programs and how we make sure not to have to go through those very heavy launch periods that most online businesses do when they have launch periods. We have a very easy and smooth approach to working with group programs and actually launching the group programs. So today I'm going to talk about how to create the group program, how to really create your front end offer. It's called the front end offer, the first group program that people can work with you in, how you can launch it and how you can scale it. So you can really go with that. And why do I talk about this is because this has really transformed my life. And when I started my business in 2011, and I used to work with one-on-one sessions and some workshops and some one-to-one clients. I was a speaker, but it wasn't really sustainable. I had around 2,000-3,000 euros coming in every month on a good month. But I really felt that I was capped. And having worked from 2011 to 2018, I felt like I was working harder and giving more than I was getting back from actually all the efforts I was putting into creating my online business. And what I realized was that the approach of having one-on-one sessions and online courses was not sustainable because you had to work so hard with marketing and to add up to, let's say, the passive income strategy of having 97 offers. The amount of people I actually had to reach to be able to create a 10K stable income was not sustainable. So I realized that there has to be another way. And in 2018, after studying marketing really intensively, I finally cracked the code of how to create this type of group programs. And since that moment, my business before meeting Barack took off, and I started to have stable, sustainable six-figure years with really small efforts. Honestly, it was working around 10 hours per week all together in cruise mode with beautiful clients that I loved, had lots of great results, and doing what I really love, really speaking from an embodied place. So for me, that was a breakthrough because 2018, going from 2 to 3,000 K to actually my first month, I went into this strategy that I'm going to show you more about today. I'll talk more about the group program itself. I had my I sold $18,000 dollars in that month. So for me, it was huge. I had really nothing more than an idea of what I can do in the group program. I didn't have landing pages then. I didn't have the fancy things that we knew now we can give to our clients with the tech and the ads. I had nothing, honestly. I had really nothing. I just had the really good understanding of the offer and the audience and what I can offer in the group program. And that changed my life. And that became what I was teaching. So for the last decade, I've led more than 50 editions of group programs around this topic. I really taught a lot of people, probably more than 500 people in the last years. Just this last year, we worked with more than 150 mentors through this process of helping them to scale the group program. So this is really built on proven methods that have been working for me. It changed my life, and therefore it became my method that I developed with Barack. Now we have really optimized it because he also came from the method development and group programs and courses and stuff like that. So our combination now has allowed us to really help our members to create that in a very sustainable way. So how does it actually work? Let's talk about first what we don't want. We don't want to do one-to-one. I call it the safety blanket. And many times I work with clients on the snuggle blanket, and we have this small, battle where I'm trying to get them away from their one-on-one sessions, and they're trying to keep it because it feels safe. So there's this moment of, but I'm earning some money with this, and I have some one-on-one clients, and I'm very intentional of telling them that yes, it feels like a snuggle blanket. It feels safe, but if you look at it, it's not sustainable. And all the amount of time you're probably wasting on one-on-one sessions, working with them one-to-one, they cancel, they reschedule. There's all this, if you're a therapist, it's so time consuming and it's not scalable. You just get very tired. That is what's happening with one-on-one session and the hourly rate. But I also work with premium pricing. I work with many leaders who had multiple six-figure businesses that were at a higher premium offering price, like let's say 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000. It still looks like it's great on the outside because they're making money with a handful of clients. And I used to be one of them as well. And I understood that, of course, my one-on-one coaching, can be easily 20, 30, 50,000. But the thing is that if I want to take a break and just stop for a second, I can still not do it. It still all depends on me. So if I am not working for a month, if I want to take holidays for a month, or I want to step out, or if I'm not feeling well, my team cannot step in. My clients cannot watch any recordings. My clients cannot get any support because it all depends on me. And that feeling is so heavy for a mentor. So even if you're making, honestly, I have worked with people who are making multiple six figures and some of them even up to 500,000 in their business with premium offers, it's still not sustainable because you're still the person that has to show up in the end of the day for one-on-one coaching. It's an energy exchange that is very heavy. And the more money they pay, the more you feel stressed. And it really creates this constant stress of I can lose my, high-paying clients. So we don't want to get stuck in this, no matter if you're charging 50 euros or 50,000 for your program, you don't want to get stuck in this because you're going to get to a point where you are still stuck in one-to-one, still stuck in this delivery. So what do? We jump straight to group programs. With our clients, we work really focused on launching a group program within 90 days. I really truly believe that it's possible. And if you get away from this snuggle blanket and you can focus for 90 days, just focus, let's say 8 to 10 hours per week on believing and trusting that it's possible and implementing what I'm going to share with you today, you're able to start working with amazing clients. You're able to attract beautiful souls and work with them in a good way that is good for you and good for them. And you're actually able to create much more results for them because they are not only working with you, you are working with them, they're working with your method, they're working in the community, they're working with each other. Maybe you have a support team. Like we have 3 full-time support team, amazing experts that are supporting our clients as well as part of our program. Like you can have all of that. So it's not only you having one-on-one sessions with them anymore. You are starting to attract a group of aligned clients that are amazing to work with, and you are able to create better results for them. I truly believe that to create great results for our clients, we do have to give them a space that is not only you being in the space, but also others coming into the space and working with them. We need this collective consciousness to be able to grow together. And when you have a group, it starts to kind of take off by itself because they start talk with each other. Now in our community, we have many who also come from friends because they hear about the program, they hear about the results, they hear what's going on in the space, they love the vibe, they love the progress they are making. So they're starting to talk with each other as well. So the ripple effect of your group program will also be massive if you are attracting the right clients. Okay, so what we want to do is to really break the time for money ceiling. You are not charging for money. It's not I'm giving more sessions because I'm charging more, or I'm giving more sessions because I'm not working one-on-one anymore. It's much more about what can I create as a result? What can I help you with? So if you think about it, if you work with one-on-one client for an hour session and you have 5 clients, and maybe you have 10 clients, you have 20 clients, what if you did 1 hour? or even 2 hours, but you put that together so people can come together and learn from you to go through the transformation with you on the call, not the one-on-one time, but actually able to be there with you, listen to what you have to share, go through the process. That way you can actually be even more generous because you're not giving of yourself. You're not repeating yourself like many of us do. You are helping them to grow in a group. So instead of looking at your schedule every week and say, oh my God, my schedule is so full, I don't have time for anything else. You look at your schedule and you have 1 2 hour slot booked in the schedule for your group call. That's it. That for me, when I had that transformation from going in 2018 from one-on-one sessions to having one call per week, I felt like there must be something wrong because this is so easy. Like if we learn to work really hard, then it might feel like everyone is working so hard and I am working 10 hours per week having a, you know, easy six-figure business. My clients are happier than ever. I'm earning more money than ever. What's the hack? What's wrong? And then my doomsday scenario came in like, there must be something wrong. It's never gonna stay like this. After 6 months, I'm thinking still, is this really gonna work? Because it feels too easy. Something's gonna break. My mind went into that loop. And after a year, I'm like, okay, this is working. And after 10 years now, I'm thinking, all right, guys, I can now say that it's proven, it's working, nothing is wrong. My clients are happier than ever. I'm happier than ever. Everything works out in the end. It is actually creating more results. So when you start thinking that it's not about my time, but is it what is the outcome I can create in that program for our clients? My time is not the only thing. If you look at the 90 days that someone works with us, there is the course that is based on 16 years of my experience and 6 years of Barak's experience in method development. There is a tech support every day of the week of our team. There is ad support. There is a community space. There are study session, implementation session, cultivation sessions, like all type of things that you can do in the space. And there's coaching with me, and there's coaching with Barak, and there's sprint session. Like there's so much we can do together because I'm not selling my one-on-one time to you anymore. I can be much more generous. Yeah. I can actually care and give you much more results because I'm letting go of this, I would say, codependency that we sometimes might create with our mentor and coach. I'm letting us go. I let you free and I trust that you can lead yourself. And if you need help, we are there. Me, Barak, and the team, we are there to support you. And I let go of me feeling a validation of you having to validate me with money or me being your coach. We are here and I'm showing up and like, this is what I'm bringing. And then I have time to do sessions like this for our community that are amazing. I can be with you and I can give you a workshop. I can create new content. I can create new concepts. It's amazing. It gives me more time and it gives me a capacity to actually serve you deeper. And I would love you to share in the chat what is already landing for you about this, because usually what I like to bring is not only here is how you do it step by step. I want you to understand, why does this matter to you? What is landing for you about this concept? Write in the chat. I would love to read you. If you're watching the replay, think about it. What about it feels like, oh yeah, actually, I'm realizing that I don't want to give away my one-on-one time anymore. Or I'm realizing that if I want to really serve my clients, a group program is the path. Sounds realistic, actually. Yeah, it totally is. Yes, and Julie's saying, I have other things to do, not just work for money. Yeah. And honestly, I think you don't want to have a mentor who's just working for money, and no one wants to come into a collaboration of saying, I'm gonna work with you because I need your money. That feels very awkward and icky, right? So when we can say, I come here and I have my stability and I can do anything I want. I can do a program about anything I want, but I choose to be here with you and I choose to show up in this space and I create the values in this community and I create the conditions of where we are going. Now suddenly it feels much better even for the person receiving it, because they know that you're there for the right reason. They know that you really actually want to be there because you're having greatest time. You are the happiest person in the group because you're loving the people, you're loving what you're teaching, and you're there because you know that you're free, you're abundant. You can show up for those 2 hours per week without feeling like, oh my God, another call, another call, another call. Yes, save you time to do other tasks. 100%. Yes, good. All right. So I really believe in groups, as you hear me say, it's very scalable. You can scale to 10, 20, 30, 50,000. When I see what we do with our system, like what we are doing with our clients now, it is creating a cruise mode where you can have a sustainable 10,000 coming in every month with the system. But that system, you don't need to change it if you want to earn 20, 30, 40, 50,000 per month. Because the system is just about improving scalability. Because when you, let's say, have more members in your group, you can have amazing support coaches. We have 3 full-time support team members working in our program with our clients. It's amazing to be able to create that. You can have assets, you can create courses, you can create all type of meditation, workbooks, and you develop a product. So it's not about I am giving my one-on-one time service. Actually, if you would step out for a month, your clients can still work with that program. That is a beautiful thing, because there is the community space. There is, you can have many of our members have some support coach for their programs. You can have all type of practices they can do when you're away, but it gives you that flexibility of not always being on. And I love that you can create a community where people actually become friends. I think that nowadays, working online, we are quite isolated. So being able to be in co-elevation and meet peers, accountability partners, having a space where you can come in and you can study when you want with the resources, come into the community and interact in the way that you like, and to find deep connections, new friends, partners, collaborators, like anything there. That's how we, like as an adult, that's how we make friends, right? That's how we collaborate. We meet people, and many of us work online. And if you're like me, with Barak, we love living in nature. So, we are not in the big cities. So there is so much value in the connection we can create with other people around the world that are like-minded. So I really believe in that. I want to share you a story, and I have so many stories to share with you, and I want to keep it to a couple today. But this is Ronnie. We love him. He's part of our community, and he did our program about, let me see, 7 months ago, and he joined us, and he works with Tantra. So he works with Tantra for men in Israel. He used to be a CTO, and he came to us and he left his job, as very high paying job. And he said, I want to work with men around sexuality, around energetics. And I do some workshops for men, but I'm mostly giving one-on-one sessions for couples or for one-on-one for men. And as he came in, let me see. Yes, and then he came in with us. He really was looking at, like, can I create a method around this? Do I even have what it takes to do a 3 months program around this? Because I do one-on-one sessions. Like, is there enough to expand it to 3 months? And we sat down one day and just did brainstorming with a lot of small post-its. Like, there's a tool called Miro. We use it online, like post-its online. And we were just painting out all the tools, all the things he could do. And then I said, okay, let's look at what can you do in the upcoming 3 months and what can you do later. I like to do it that way. So nothing is thrown away, but what can we use now? And what is, if I think about it, if I have only 90 days with them, we don't need to do it right now. We can do it for a later program or a continuation or like a level 2 program. It will come. So together we mapped it out into, if you've heard Barak talk about it, 3 shifts, 3 pillars of a 3 months program with modules, 3 modules in each. So 9 modules in total, 3 pillars, 3 months, like a very clear process for men to access their energy, their sexual energy, and how to work with that. And we launched it with his workshop and ads. And in the first workshop, he was very happy. He was aiming for 10 men in his first edition. Usually our members are looking at 8 to 12 participants for their first cohort. And he was holding the vision for that. And 2 weeks before, he comes to me and say, Daria, it's not working. I have 2 men and I'm starting in 2 weeks. What's going on? And we had a chat. I coached him through that, and we realized that he was kind of blocking money around receiving money for his work that he was so passionate about. It was like his life mission, and allowing money to come in and receive money for something that was not tech related, but actually, related to his passion. We worked on that block, we cleared that block, and in 2 weeks, he sold 7 more spots. He has started his first group program with 9 men. Then he went ahead and did the same system again with 3 months, the same format. We improved it. He relaunched it. He had 10 men. And then again, after the 3rd edition, he waited a couple of weeks and he launched the 3rd edition. He had 12 men. So he went from having a couple of one-on-one clients selling for maybe 70 euros, 100 euros, and he went ahead and had 31 group program clients in those 4 months working with us, in average earning around 31,000 for those 3 programs. For him, that was crazy. He really went through a journey of, I'm not sure that this is possible, to, okay, let's go ahead and map it out with your post-its. I'm going to trust you wherever we are doing. And as we mapped it out and he had the clarity of the group programs, what can I actually do with this man? We were able to launch it. So I am a true believer of this. Like it doesn't have to do, doesn't matter where you're starting. If you're already working with group programs and you're just not able to scale them, or if you are, thinking of going from one-to-one or premium offers, one-to-one offers to groups, honestly, I really believe it's possible in 90 days. You just have to focus and you need to know what to do. Okay? How are you feeling so far? We'll love to hear in the chat. How are you feeling? I love those stories. I love the sharing stories about our clients. They're so amazing. The community magic. Yeah. Inspired. It's interesting, exciting. Yeah, Meritin, Jean. We're gonna do it tomorrow. Come to the session. I want to see you there. We're gonna build your group programs. It's gonna be good. Okay, community magic, better client results. So yeah, I really believe in that. I think that one-on-one coaching is isolation. I worked with clients on one-to-one setting for 10,000, 12,000, 15,000, 20,000 for my one-on-one work. And I love working one-to-one when it's a really interesting project. I stopped doing it now, but what I realized was that they were isolated. They only had me. You know what I mean? They only had me to talk with once a week, as working with me, cheering for them, going through their hardships. And that felt so isolating. And I saw how much my clients who were in the group program were actually in co-elevation, because they were getting support from me, they were getting support from the team, and they were getting support from each other. Whereas the one-to-one person is very much alone. And we are missing a lot of things when we do one-on-one coaching, which is the peer support, not having your peers, not having the accountability, not having that co-elevation. So I keep insisting on the value of that, not only for us, but actually for our clients. They really get so much more from being in that type of environment. And you can scale. That's what I'm saying is, I really see that most businesses that are online business are not scalable because they're not built in a scalable way. If you are having a group program and you actually have a system, we are very system focused with Barak. We think in system, we create processes, we create the method, something that is reusable. Our group program that we have been now running for the last 18 months in this format with 150 plus clients, it's the same but improved. We haven't changed the process. We have just improved and tweaked every day, every week to make it better. So the program has now become the result of 150 people giving feedback and going through this process. So it becomes scalable, it becomes reusable, and it becomes easier to manage because you actually have a process. You know that this is how I do my onboarding, my welcome. Here's how I lead my clients through this process. Here's how I can track their progress. Here's how I can get feedback. Here's how I can improve it. And therefore, your group program can, and it's really up to you to decide, can easily go from 10, 20, 30, 50, even 100,000 per month with one group program. You don't need to create workshops and books and online courses and all that things. If you want, you can. But even with just one group program, you can easily have a 7-figure business. If you just focus. Again, it comes back to focus, because many times we get sidetracked and like, oh, I want to do a retreat. I want to do this. I want to do that. And that all is possible. But it is easy to create a business that is sustainable and scalable if that's what we want. We just have to decide the focus. If I want to focus on creating a business that is thought as a system that is reusable, and I can really see the process and I can see how I can reuse it. Like for Ronnie can just restart. Okay, I'm starting a new edition. I'm restarting my ads, my workshop, my funnels. I'm restarting my group. There are new people coming in, but the system is the same, just improved. And that's how I want you to think. We are not changing the group program. We're not changing the method. We are just improving the processes so it becomes better every time. So let's talk about how we can do it in a very simple way. I highly recommend a couple of things. First thing is 12 weeks. I meet a lot of people who are having 6 weeks, 4 weeks, 16 weeks, 1-year programs, 6 months programs, and all of that becomes very confusing for your clients. So the best format that I have seen is to have 12 weeks for the entrance offer. So entrance offer means someone comes to your world, they have never met you, they're gonna start working with you. 90 days is a good commitment. 90 days is what's humanly possible for us to focus. For me to be able to focus on something, 90 days is kind of my limit. If you tell me, okay, we're gonna be together for a year from now, I'll feel like that's too much commitment. I don't want to go on a journey for 1 year right now. I don't even know you. But if you tell me, let's do it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks, I will tell myself, is it the right 6 weeks? Is it the right 8 weeks? No, I'm going away on holidays that week, or I'm doing that week. I don't have the time. So it has to become the perfect 6 weeks or the perfect 8 weeks. Okay, so the 90 days, it can never be the perfect 90 days. It's a cycle. So 90 days gives me enough time even to step away for a week on holiday, to have a busy week, to arrange my schedule so I can actually focus. So 12 weeks is a great format for us to show up and to focus and to be together for 12 weeks of up and down, because you're going to have the ups and then you'll have the downs, and then you'll have the ups, and then you'll have the downs, and I want to be there. I want to be there. And you as a mentor, you want to be in those, because change and transformation, it's not just like this, right? We go through, first we have the excitement, the motivation. Wow, it's all amazing. And then we have this moment of past identity wounding, limiting beliefs coming up. And then we have to work through that. We go back up. It's like the hero's journey. And in 12 weeks, you go through quite a lot in the hero's journey in terms of transformation. So that's what happens for your clients. And if you create, here we talk about 3 to 8 per cohort to start with. It's really great. 8 to 12 is, I would even say, 3 is the minimum to start a group. We have a member right now who's just had 3 people signing up, and she is looking to have 8. And I told her, even if you only have 3 and you start the next group with more, that's completely fine. It doesn't matter. let's just get started. Let's start working with the group. Let's get into we don't have to wait. We don't need to have these big launches. Let's start working with the group. Let's get the experience, the case studies, testimonials, get them to work together, and then you can grow from there. Many of my groups throughout this year, they started with 4 people, 5 people, and it just grew, right? So it doesn't matter. The size doesn't matter. We don't have to make the biggest launch. But I like to aim for 8 to 12 for the first edition, and then put the price point that feels also relevant. I recommend between 1,000 to 2,500 per participant for the 3 months. It's a good price for a 3 months group program when you combine coaching and different skills and transformation and resources and community. So this is where I would put it, and create a really simple structure for people to have a weekly teaching that they can do. So they have maybe 90 minutes to 120 minutes with you every week. Then they have like one session. They have some resource they can watch after, replays, etc. And then they also have the actual space to be in community. We have a course area for our clients that we give to them, that they can also use for their clients, which allows you to have like a portal, like a client portal, where they can talk with each other, where they can connect. You create a space online where they can be together and grow together. So in terms of weekly structure, we want to make it quite easy for them to implement. So we are looking at something that will take them 3 to 5 hours per week to work with. We don't want to overwhelm them with, here's all the things I learned in the last 20 years. Have fun. Here's all my information. We want to give them time to breathe, to practice, to be together, to integrate. It's more as place. Transformation is more about integration. How can I integrate the tools into my life? So you give them a practice space to practice together with you and go through that. Okay. And last but not least, I also really recommend doing circular cohorts. So what does that mean? When you start a cohort, first time we start a group, you will probably have a beginning and an end. So you will have a start date. Okay, 90 days. I'm going to work with you for 90 days. Now, when you start to scale it, and this is for the ones who are scaling here, I recommend to work with cohorts, keeping the same group, but opening a couple of spots every month. So maybe you have 5 spots beginning of next month, or 10 spots at the beginning of next month, and that helps the group to grow organically, and you have the time to also grow in and expand to actually hold more people, because it's very different to have 10 people or have 100 people in a group program in terms of your energetic capacity, your boundaries, but also the setup so that everyone gets seen. So I like circular cohorts. This is one of the superpowers of, I would say, of not launching all the time. And this is what makes it very sustainable every month, because you have one group and you have new people coming into the group once a month. And you can have, let's say, a track. You can have a hybrid of the first 4 weeks, they have a specific session just for them, and then they join the bigger group. That's a good way to do it. Or you have a really good course or online training before. They have maybe some things that they have to watch before joining the first session. But it is a very sustainable way to scale a group, because you can every month have a couple of people joining without that putting the group into too much confusion, let's say. So let's say if you have 3 months and you have 3 different modules, 3 different pillars, 9 different modules, maybe your pillars are not in an order of 1, 2, 3. Maybe it doesn't matter what order they're in. So it doesn't matter where they start, as long as they go through all the 3 steps. If that's the case for you, then you can just say, okay, this month we are working on this module, let's say 2, and next month we work on 3, and you'll finish with 1. It doesn't matter for that person as long as they go and complete all the steps. But if you have a more, let's say, 1, 2, 3 approach where you have to go through the things in the steps, you can have month 1 separate. Let's say that the group is coming together, there are 10 people. just going through the month one together, and then they can join the rest of the group, or you can do two in parallel. So that it really works that way. It can be quite simple. When we scale cohorts, our members, I'll talk to you about Natalie, who is in France. She does a circular cohort. So she has her members are joining every beginning of the new month. So she has 8 women in her group, and she opens a couple of spots every month. I think four spots every month. We are now scaling her group program to 20 participants, and then she's adding a couple of people every month because it's a circular cohort. It's a model that it doesn't matter where they start as long as they go through the whole process. And because she already has the course, they're able to really work on the coaching part instead in the sessions. I would love to see in the chat, what are you learning from this? How about the group programs? What's landing for you? Maybe there's some questions about this. This is really my advice for you. And no matter if you're scaling, I will really recommend doing the circular cohorts. If you are having a 1-year program, I would break it down to 3 months plus 9 months. It really helps with we have many members who have 1-year programs that we have helped to create like a level 1, 3 months, and then level 2 for 90 days. And if you are looking to start your first one, then 90 days, 3 to 8 is already a group, and 12 weeks would be my advice for you. The most important is to get started. I'm a big believer of not overthinking, but just say, okay, I'm going for it, and I'm starting, and I'm learning from working with the group and learning through the process. Yeah. So Meredith is saying circular cohort sounds perfect when mastered. Yeah, it's incredible. There is so much value. Also, the circle cohorts, what I see is that the oldies, the ones who have been with us for a while, let's say they're in month 3, they love the beginners. They love the new ones coming in. There's this feeling of like, I've been where you are and you're gonna be fine. There's this feeling of everyone seeing each other, the new ones coming in with a fresh energy, everything is new, it's exciting. And the ones who've been in the program, they are growing in their leadership because they are kind of the big sister or big brother in the group of like overseeing the new ones coming in. And there's just this beautiful energy, because it can get a bit boring, I would say, not boring, but a bit monotonous, let's say, when you have the same group going on and on and on and on. So it gives us the new energy of new people, new connections. It's really beautiful. And if you do it once a month, it doesn't affect the group. You see what I mean? It does not have this effect of new people coming in every time. You actually have people coming in once a month, and there's like this beautiful, okay, we know that there are some new people coming in, let's welcome them. Yeah, so content-wise, it depends on the type of program that you have. If your method, and this is something we look at when we work with someone, is your method something that needs to be step by step? Let's say that you have a process that is very much like in our space, in our program, the process is very clear. You have to first design the method, and then you market the method, and you sell the method. The process, like it has to go 1, 2, 3. But let's say that you have a method that talks about mind, body, soul. It doesn't matter if it starts with soul, body, or mind. You can go in any direction as long as you cover all the 3. If that's the case, then you can just say, okay, this month we focus on mind, next month we will focus on body, next month we focus on soul. And then no matter where they start, they will go through all the 3 steps. But if you have a program like we have our member now who is starting her program, so if she's going to have a cohort, she's going to have, I think, 4 to 6 people in her first. She has 3 already signed up. She has 4 calls today for her program. So fingers crossed for her, but I think 4 to 6 would be probably the size of this group. She will start with them for the first 4 weeks. And then the next 4 weeks, she can then say, I'm opening 6 more spots. And then she opens 1 let's say, Tuesday sessions for the first 4 weeks, and then she opens up a Thursday session for everyone. You follow me? So that way she can have one that is just the first, 4 weeks if she needs to have an on-ramp with us. Everyone has to go through the same first 4 weeks and they cannot mix it up. And then she can have, for after the onboarding sequence and onboarding experience, she can then open to the bigger group and have everyone together. So you just have to feel into what works for you. I truly believe that if you have really everything pre-recorded and processed and you have specific sessions, then you can scale even with circular cohorts, even if you don't have people who are in the same stage. In our program, for instance, we have 3 phases, and each phase have their specific coaching sessions. So we have phase 1 coaching sessions, phase 2 coaching sessions, phase 3 coaching sessions. Specific sessions for each phase. When you're at this a larger scale with your program, that's something that you can do. In the beginning, just make it simple. Start with one group, and then if you feel like circle cohorts, then it's something that you can definitely aim towards and reflect on how you can create it. Julie's asking, would the people who have done the first phases drop off when they've done the 3? If they've done the 3, yes, exactly. So they will complete, they will graduate, and then the others will stay in. So that way you have, you have the same group, but you don't have to change. You don't have to rethink. You can always think about the continuation or a level 2 program, something like that for them. But in this program, the format does not change. The people go through the process, but you keep it going. Yeah, I think she got it. Yeah, amazing. So the circular launch model is something that we teach, and we love it because it does take off the stress that most people have with launches of, let me do this big launch, let me build up. I had a woman coming in to us. She invested, like, I think she said 25,000 before coming to us, and she said, like, my mentor taught me that I need to do launch in October, November. This was in March, and I said, that sounds like a really long time. And building up to one specific launch that you're gonna, put all your eggs in one basket and hope that it's gonna be really successful. And then you have to do open cards, and you have to put all the emails, and there's a lot of energy. Unless you love that energy, and have a friend, she does love it. She's really good at this launch energy. But when she's in launch, like, you cannot talk to her for weeks. She's just fully focused. It's very much like you have to be super, super on it every day. Most people don't love it. Most people I lead, they are not really in this let's go high energy, like, until I basically crawl out of here with my launch, but I did it, and I'm closing my sales, and I'm doing this deadline. It's very stressful, because especially if you're gonna put all your efforts on that one launch and you don't know if it's gonna work out or not. In our idea is that we do mini launches every month. When we work with the workshops, we have the free workshop that you use ads to fill up, and from that free workshop, ads to free workshop, you invite people into the next cohort. And because you can have a cohort every month, you can have 5, 10, 20, 30 people joining every month. And now you go from these really big launches once a year or twice a year with a lot of people waiting for the waiting list to open. You can just repeat and rotate. So it becomes very predictable. Our members, let's say Ronnie, I may give an example, launch his first program, 90 days program, 9 participants. Next one was 10. He raised the price, he kept the same Facebook ads, he kept the same, everything was the same, Facebook ads and workshop. Just improved everything. And then what can you expect for the 3rd edition? Of course, 12 participants, 9, 10, 12. So he can expect it. It's almost like, okay, I'm doing it again. I'm relaunching my ads. I'm relaunching my workshop. I'm relaunching my emails, my automations, all of that we usually set up with our clients. So you can just have a system running and becomes predictable. And you can say, okay, now I want to open 5 spots. Now I want to open 10 spots. With Barak, we can know in advance, if I put this much into ads, I will have this many people in the workshop, this many people booking call, and this many people joining the next cohort, more or less. And when we look at the data, we can see the last, I can anticipate what September will look like because I know my numbers. And this is the beautiful thing about having a business that you actually can measure. When we work with our clients on Thursdays, we measure those numbers. We look at that, okay, what are you going to do next? Okay, next month, how is it going to look like? Because you can predict with this ad budget, I will have this many signups, this many show ups, this many sales calls, this many people joining my cohort. And you do it 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You can imagine January to June, you will be able to predict because you can see every month how many people sign up and how much you invested in ads. So you just keep repeating the same system. And the beautiful thing about this is that you build the system once. Okay, you don't have to recreate new marketing material, new workshops. When we work with our clients, we create one ad messaging that we help ad copy, one workshop, the presentation, the reminder emails, the WhatsApp emails, everything that you will have. Everything is pre-templated, right? You improve it as you go, you tweak it in the first edition, but then you reuse it. We have members who said, I didn't even check my ads in this edition. I just let it roll. And that will happen one day. When you get them to tweak, you're able to say, wow, I don't need to be on them every day because I know that this ad is working. I know this landing page is working. I know this workshop is working. And if it's not, then you can improve it until it does, because you know that every time you are improving something, it will stay for the rest of your life. So this is what is system thinking. This is what we do with launches. We are thinking in systems. We are not thinking in energy excess of, I'm going to push really hard. I'm going to do the biggest launch ever. And then you put all your effort into that and you get exhausted and tired and you don't even know what you're doing most of the time, because we are basing it on some really big guru who has a really big email list and a big team. And we are trying to model something that for one human without a team is almost impossible. So I'd like to be a bit more realistic about that. Like, what are we actually doing here? And how can we take off the stress cycle that is related to launches? This is where a lot of people don't do group programs because they are getting into this traditional launch model, and this is where they get stuck. Okay, so how do we create a group that is good for everyone? A big concept that we have around working with groups is working in co-leadership. I highly recommend for you to think who you want to have in your space. Because many of our clients will come to me, they say, Daria, I don't want to have victims in my space. I don't want to sit and handhold everyone. If they don't want to be coached and they are not showing up for themselves, I don't want to do that. And that means that you choose who you work with. You focus on the runners. I like to say run with the runners. Imagine it like this. You are dancing for yourself. You're enjoying yourself. You're dancing. You're having the best time of your life. You're painting. You're singing. You are doing something for yourself. And then someone sees you and they say, wow, I want to do that. That looks amazing. How do you do that? And you say, oh, you want me to teach you how I do that? Come, this is my process. This is how I dance. This is how I create art. This is how I sing. This is how I heal. Here's how I take care of my body. Here's my method. This is my process. And I say, wow, that sounds amazing. Can I come and join you? Can I dance with you? Can I sing with you? Can I paint with you? Yeah, sure. Run with me. Come with me. Let's go together. Eye to eye, leader to leader. Amazing. And then they come up and they show up because they are inspired, they are expanded in their vision, they are creative. And you are able to inspire them to expand their vision and show up in co-leadership. So this is going to help you a lot when you scale. And this is something many people don't talk about, but when you scale a group program, there are a couple of things that will happen. One, of course, is boundaries and your energy management. You cannot be available for 100 people, 200 people the same way that you can be available for 10 people. Not in the same way, at least, not with your one-on-one time. However, if you work with leaders and you bring your processes and you bring the tools and the systems and the support, you are able to meet them where they are, and they're self-led. I recommend you looking at the people who are already running, that you don't need to drag up because they're already moving, they're already coaching, they're figuring it out, they are proactive. If they don't know something, they will find a way, they will be in their power, they will be in their leadership. And then when you focus on them and you focus on the champions, the leaders, the ones who are there to figure it out, then you will have much less energy waste, and you will have people who are implementing and getting results with your processes. The ones who are actually not there to be held and, oh, I need you to do it for me. I need you. I usually tell our clients, if they need you, then there's an issue. If they are there because they desire you, they want to be there with you, they want to grow with you, want to learn with you, they want to, like, they are action takers, they are leaders. You're there to create the best processes, you're going to create the best experience, but they show up for themselves. You don't have to call them up and say, hey, where are you? What's going on? They're not blaming anyone. They're not blaming them if they're not able to succeed. They're not blaming you. They're asking themselves, what do I need to do so I can actually be there? And then you're able to really have a really beautiful process with people who are able to show up for themselves. So I recommend that when you're thinking about the group programs, think about, who do I want to have in the space? Okay. And make it super simple. A lot of times I have the question, how do I set up the tech? Make sure that you have very simple processes. I put mine artist tag here because we give it to our clients, but if you don't have the one tech place where you can have everything for your clients, then have a look at an option. We like to look at having a place where they can find the events. We have an event section where our clients can find all the events of the week. You have a Zoom account. It goes with Google Calendar integrated. That's one thing. Live calls is going to be part of the program. Another part is to have a content library. We use our course area in MindArtist where we put all the recordings. And you can also use something like the script, which is a very simple editing tool for AI. And then you can have a community space where people can talk with each other. Again, we use MindArtist, but you can choose yourself what you want to use. A place where people can talk with each other, like a Facebook group, but that doesn't need to be on Facebook. Those are like really what you need to get started. So if you're wondering, what do I need to do in order to create a group program and have it somewhere, a community space where people can talk, a space where they can watch replays and videos, and a Zoom account so you can actually show up with them, and then they know when to show up for the calls. That's about it. And then, of course, when you start working with that, think about, how do you sign them up? Having a secure payment link, helping them with onboarding. We have automatic onboarding for our clients. So it goes directly from my artist tech. There's a WhatsApp, an email that they receive. Everything is automatic. Have immediate wins. So have direct access to the course for them so they can watch the trainings, maybe having a kickoff call so they can meet the others in the community. And then have the core program, which will be, like I mentioned earlier, once a week, with a community space with some implementation sessions that you can do with them. What I also recommend, and it depends on the size of the group, is to have some type of community space. We have community calls where our members can meet others and network and have accountability partners and find study buddies and network for collaborators. I really recommend that when you have a bigger group, so it doesn't feel like just you talking, but they also meeting each other. Those are kind of the core ideas I would recommend for you. And this is going to be a really big one for the ones who have done a lot of one-to-ones, is to become really clear on your non-negotiables. When you have a group, you need to think about how to manage that group so it doesn't become overwhelming. One thing that I would recommend is not to give away your private WhatsApp number. My WhatsApp, I don't even check it normally. I do it once a week. I'm not much on my phone, but we have a virtual WhatsApp number that is part of, in our portal, where we can talk with our clients. WhatsApp and email is online. No direct messages to me, just in the community space directly where we talk in the group. So there's no one-to-one communication missed. So that way they're WhatsApping you. I had this conversation many times with our clients going from one-to-one to group programs to keep your one-on-one WhatsApp private free from your group clients, because otherwise it becomes very messy. When you have 5, 10, it's okay, but when you start to have 20 people messaging you privately on the weekends to your private WhatsApp, it will become very stressful. So it's good to separate from the very beginning and have really clear timeframes. I like to have Monday to Friday office hours, reply within 24 hours, not on weekends, not after hours, just having like a normal, space where you come in and they know that within 24 hours, not directly, but within 24 hours, you aim to respond. And that this is going to build a good structure for you as you are going to build out your group. Okay. And last but not least, I would love you to really see that this is far bigger than the group itself. Yes, it's a group. It starts with the group, but it's really thinking you as a movement builder, because you are building a movement. The group is a representation of something that you practice together, whereas it's art or leadership or feminine empowerment or dog training or anything that you're doing, you do it for a reason. So I really think that see the big vision of where are you going with this movement, where are you going, what's the behind what you're doing, but not getting stuck in the vision and actually starting taking action upcoming 90 days. So I really recommend you starting now, if you haven't yet started, to start building out and scaling it to the next step. Whereas it is that you're starting today, you're just starting off, then what's the next step for you to set it up? Maybe it is setting up the date for you. If you already have a group, what is your next step? I would love you to share in the chat as a final exercise. What is your next step for your group program? What do you do next? If you're scaling, maybe it is to go more towards cohort based. If you are starting, maybe putting a date. What do you need to do next in order for you to create that? I would love you to share it in the chat. And meanwhile, we will have a couple of, I will stay on for 5 more minutes for you to Q&A, but I do want to offer for the ones who are looking to actually launch your group program, and if you're not part of our program already, where we do this, I would recommend to book in a session with our expert team to talk with us about your scaling plan, about your group program. This is really valuable. We had more than 300 mentors who went through this process in the last year, and you can book in a call with them where you're able to get help to really see how you can launch your next group program and how you can scale it in upcoming 90 days using ads and how you can pre-sell it within 45 days. So I recommend booking that session. That way we can look at what do you already have with your methods? Where are you currently? How is your launch looking? Especially if you already have a group program and you're not able to launch it, we will be able to look at what's going on. If you're doing it organically, you want to move to ads, we can look at that. And it's a 1-hour session where we actually map out the whole strategy with you together. It's a free session. It's super valuable. And if you haven't done it with us yet, I would highly recommend booking that in. And I'll be on for another 5 minutes for any questions that you might have about your programs. I would love to share in the chat. Mary, who already has a group program. I'd love to see what are you taking away? Chloe, Vivi, Stella, Jean, Merete, and also someone with a Hebrew name. I'm not sure. What's your name? I'm trying to take a group of women on a trip abroad. I want to do it a few times a year, have them become a community I can continue with. Amazing. So Nurit, I would recommend booking a call so we can look at how you can do it. Many of our members are mixing both retreat and online experiences. So if you want to have an online retreat with them and also want to have a group program that leads up to that, we can look at how that would look like, how you can price it, how you can combine it. Usually we recommend having the retreat as a back end. If you're earning under 100,000 euros per year with your business and it's still a smaller community, then back end retreat is much easier to sell. Front end is easier when you already have a established brand, all the recognition, all the community, big email list. But when you do it in the beginning, it's easier for them to commit an online experience and then having a retreat in the end. I would love to chat with you. Those calls right now, I am still giving those one-on-one 60-minute sessions. So this is the only way that we can have a one-on-one strategy, and I can go into that with you. I would have a look in the calendar and book it in, and I would love to see it over, Norit, what you are doing, how you're working with these women, what you already have in terms of processes, and what might be something that you need to improve in terms of your marketing and the sales. Have a beautiful evening ahead. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Ciao. Toda. Bye.